Welcome to Audiobook Haven. Escape into a world of stories and imagination with our vast collection of free audiobooks. From classics to contemporaries, fiction to nonfiction, we've got you covered. Relax, unwind, and let our soothing narrators transport you to new worlds. Subscribe for new audiobook uploads every week. A wide range of genres and topics. High quality, engaging narration. A cozy and welcoming community of book lovers. Get comfortable, press play, and let the stories begin. Introduction. Why settle for average when greatness is calling your name? My dear friend, let me ask you something straight up. Why are you still sitting there, comfortable with average, when there's a bigger, bolder, more extraordinary life knocking at your door? Yes, you. I'm talking to you, the one holding this book, the one who's been dreaming quietly, maybe even doubting if those dreams can ever come alive. I see you, and I'm here to tell you something loud and clear. Average is not your portion. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. You see, life is not meant to be a small, safe, predictable thing. No, life is a wild, beautiful adventure, and you're supposed to be the star of it, not just a spectator clapping for others. I know how it feels, though. That voice in your head whispering, maybe this is all I can be. Maybe I shouldn't dream too big. I've been there. Years ago, I was just another young man in Lagos, hustling through life, thinking average was okay. But one day, it hit me like a thunderbolt. Why am I settling for crumbs when God has prepared a feast for me? That's the question I want you to ask yourself right now. Why stay average? Why let fear or doubt or yesterday's mistakes keep you in a box that's too small for your spirit? You're not here to just pay bills and die, my friend. You're here to shine, to grow, to leave a mark that says, I was here, and I lived big. This book you're holding, Why Stay Average? Success Secrets to Catalyze Your Growth, is not just words on a page. It's a wake-up call. It's a hand stretched out to pull you up from where you're sitting and push you toward where you're meant to be. I wrote it because I believe in you. Yes, you, even if you don't fully believe in yourself yet. I wrote it because I've seen what happens when ordinary people like you and me decide to stop playing small and start chasing greatness. Spoiler alert, it's magical. Let me tell you a quick story. There was this guy I knew back in the day. Let's call him Tom. Tom was the king of average. He had a job that paid just enough, a routine that never changed, and a life that was so safe it was boring. But one evening, we were gisting and eating suya, and I asked him, Tom, if you could do anything in this world, what would it be? He laughed, like it was a silly question, but then his eyes got serious. He said, I'd start my own business. Something big, something that helps people. I looked at him and said, so why don't you? He didn't have an answer that night, but that question planted a seed. Today, Tom runs a thriving company, employs dozens of people, and lives a life he once thought was impossible. All because he stopped hugging average like it was his best friend. That's what I want for you. I want you to stop hugging average. I want you to stop telling yourself, maybe later, or it's too hard, or I'm not good enough. You are good enough. You are more than enough. And this book is going to show you how to prove it, not just to the world, but to yourself. So what's inside these pages? Pure gold, my friend. We're going on a journey together. I'm going to share secrets, practical, real, no-nonsense secrets that have turned ordinary people into extraordinary trailblazers. We'll talk about how to shake off fear like it's dust on your shoes. We'll dig into how to build confidence that doesn't shake, even when life throws curveballs. You'll learn how to set goals that pull you out of bed every morning and take action that turns dreams into reality. We'll laugh over failures. Yes, laugh, because they're not the end, they're just lessons. And by the time you finish this book, you'll know how to find your purpose, stay fired up, and create a life that's so big, so bold, people will ask, how did they do it? This is not a book for perfect people. It's a book for real people, you, with your scars, your doubts, your hustle, your heart. It's simple, because greatness doesn't need big grammar to work. It's human, because I'm just like you, figuring it out one step at a time. And it's yours, because you picked it up, and that means you're ready for more. So, turn the page, my friend. Let's stop settling and start growing. Let's stop asking, why me? And start saying, why not me? Your extraordinary life is waiting, and I'm here to walk with you every step of the way. Are you ready? Let's do this. Chapter 1. Shaking off the fear that keeps you small, let's start this journey with something real. Fear. Yes, that sneaky thing that sits in your chest and whispers, don't try. Don't move. Stay where it's safe. Fear is the #1 reason so many of us hug average like it's our best friend. But today, we're going to shake it off. We're going to kick it out of the driver's seat and take back control of this beautiful life you've been given. Because if you don't face fear, it will keep you small forever. And you? You were not born to be small. I remember a time in my life when fear had me by the neck. I was fresh out of school, full of ideas, but scared to death of failing. I had this dream to start something big, something that could change lives, but every time I thought about it, my mind would scream, what if you fall flat? What if people laugh? What if you lose everything? I'd sit there, sweating, imagining every possible disaster. One day, my friend Bayo saw me looking lost and asked, "Fella, what's eating you?" I poured it all out, and he laughed. Not a mean laugh, but a kind one. He said, "Bro, fear is just a shadow. It looks big, but it's got no power unless you let it." That stuck with me. And it's the first secret I want to share with you. Fear only wins if you let it. Think about your own life for a minute. What's that thing you've been wanting to do? That business you want to start? That job you want to go for? That dream you've buried because you're scared it won't work out? I bet fear is sitting there, acting like the boss, telling you all the reasons it's too risky. But let me tell you something straight from my heart. Fear is a liar. It's a thief that steals your courage and keeps you stuck in average. And the good news? You don't have to listen to it anymore. So how do you shake off this fear? How do you tell it? Not today, my friend. It starts with understanding what fear really is. Fear is just your mind trying to protect you. It's like an overprotective mama who doesn't want you to leave the house because the world might hurt you. But here's the truth. You can't grow if you stay locked up. You can't soar if you're scared to leave the nest. So the first step is to look fear in the eye and say, I see you, but you're not in charge here. Let me tell you about my sister, Blessing. Blessing wanted to be a fashion designer. She had sketches everywhere, beautiful designs that could make you stop and stare. But she wouldn't show them to anyone. Why? Fear. She kept saying, what if nobody likes them? What if I'm not good enough? One Christmas, I sat her down and said, Blessing, you're sitting on gold, and you're letting fear bury it. Start small. Show one person. She did. She showed a friend, then another, and soon she was sewing for people in our neighborhood. Today, Blessing's designs are worn by big names, and she's living a life she once thought was too big for her. All because she took that first step past fear. That's what I want for you. Start small, but start. You don't have to jump off a cliff to beat fear. You just need to take one step. Maybe it's telling someone about your dream. Maybe it's writing down that idea you've been carrying. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been eyeing. Small steps tell fear, you're not the boss of me. And every step makes you stronger. Now, let's get practical. Here are 3 simple moves to shake off fear and kickstart your growth. First, name it. Call out what you're afraid of. Is it failing? Looking foolish? Losing money? Write it down or say it out loud. When you name it, it stops being this big, scary monster and becomes something you can handle. Second, flip it. Ask yourself, what's the best thing that could happen if I try? Focus on that. Let the possibility of winning pull you forward instead of the fear of losing holding you back. Third, do something. Anything. Take one tiny action toward your dream today. Send that email. Make that call. Start that plan. Action is fear's kryptonite. Let me be real with you. Fear won't disappear completely. Even now, when I step into new things, it still shows up, whispering its nonsense. But I've learned to talk back. I say, thanks for checking in, but I've got this. And then I move. You can do that too. You're stronger than you think, my friend. You've got a spirit that's built for big things, and fear is just a speed bump, not a wall. So here's your reflection for today. Sit down with yourself and ask, what's one thing fear has stopped me from doing? And what's one small step I can take to push past it? Write it down. Think about it. Feel it. Because the moment you decide to move, you're not average anymore. You're a warrior, stepping into your greatness. This is just the beginning, my friend. Shaking off fear is the first key to unlocking the life you were meant to live. You're not here to play small. You're here to rise, to shine, to grow into the person you've always known you could be. So let's do this together. Let's tell fear, your time is up. Turn the page, and let's keep moving. Your extraordinary life is waiting, and it starts right now. Chapter 2. Building confidence that stands tall, my friend. Let's talk about something that's like fuel for your growth engine. Confidence. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and you own it? Not because you're loud or showing off, but because you know deep down that you've got something valuable to bring. That's what I want for you. Confidence is the backbone of every big move you'll ever make. Without it, you'll stay stuck in average, second-guessing yourself while others step forward. But with it, oh, you become unstoppable. I'll tell you a little secret from my own life. There was a time I didn't have this confidence thing figured out. I'd sit in meetings, full of ideas, but my mouth would stay shut. Why? I thought, who am I to speak? These people know more. They're bigger than me. I'd shrink myself before anyone else could. One day, my mentor, Uncle Tund, pulled me aside after watching me stay quiet again. He said, "Fella, you've got fire in you, but you're hiding it under a bushel. Nobody's going to hand you a stage. You've got to step up and claim it." That hit me hard. I realized confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build, brick by brick. So let's get this straight. Confidence isn't about being perfect or knowing everything. It's about believing you're enough, right now, even with your flaws and stumbles. It's about trusting that you've got a voice, a gift, a purpose that deserves to be seen. And the best part? You don't need permission from anybody to start building it. Not your boss, not your family, not your friends. Just you. Let me share a story about my cousin, Grace. Grace was the shyest person you'd ever meet. She'd mumble her words, avoid eye contact, and act like she didn't belong anywhere. But she had this incredible talent for baking. Her cakes? Pure heaven. One day, I tasted her red velvet and said, "Grace, you need to sell this." People would line up for it. She laughed nervously and said, "Me? I can't do that. I'm not bold enough." I wasn't having it. I told her, "Start with one person. Just one." She did. She baked for a neighbor, who told a friend, who told another friend. Soon, Grace was getting orders she couldn't keep up with. Today, she runs a bakery, and when you meet her, you'd never guess she was once too scared to speak up. Confidence grew in her, one cake at a time. That's the magic of confidence, my friend. It doesn't come all at once. It builds when you take action, when you see yourself doing things you didn't think you could. So how do you get there? How do you build confidence that stands tall, even when life tries to knock you down? Let's break it down, simple and real. First, start with what you're good at. Everybody's got something. Maybe you're great at listening, or organizing, or making people laugh. Whatever it is, own it. Say to yourself, "This is my strength, and it matters." I used to think my ability to talk to people was nothing special, until I saw how it opened doors and lifted others up. Your gift might feel small to you, but it's gold to someone else. Stand on it. Second, talk to yourself right. Your mind is like a radio station, and you're the DJ. Stop playing those old tunes of "I can't" or "I'm not enough." Switch the station. Tell yourself, "I'm learning. I'm growing. I've got this." I do this every morning. I look in the mirror and say, "Uche, you're a world changer, and today you're going to act like it." It sounds funny, but it works. Your words shape your belief. Third, step out before you feel ready. Confidence doesn't come from waiting until you're perfect. It comes from moving, even when your knees are shaking. Remember Shade? She didn't wait until she felt bold. She baked that first cake with sweaty hands and a racing heart. Action builds courage, and courage builds confidence. So pick one thing you've been scared to try, and do it today. Doesn't have to be big. Just start. Now, let's be honest. Some days, confidence will wobble. Life will throw curveballs, people will doubt you, and you'll doubt yourself. I've had those days. Times when a project flopped or someone said, "Fella, you're dreaming too big." But here's what I've learned. Confidence isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up. It's about saying, "Okay, that didn't work, but I'm still here, and I'm still worth it." So here's your move, my friend. Take a moment and think. What's one area in your life where you've been shrinking? Where you've been quiet when you should have been loud? Write it down. Then ask yourself, what's one small step I can take to show up bigger there? Maybe it's speaking up in that meeting. Maybe it's sharing that idea you've buried. Maybe it's just standing a little taller today. Whatever it is, do it. Because every time you step up, you're telling the world and yourself, "I'm not average. I'm made for more." This confidence thing, it's not a gift some people are born with and others aren't. It's a muscle. You build it by using it. And the more you build it, the more you'll see doors open, Opportunities come, and dreams turn real. You're not here to blend in, my friend. You're here to stand out, to rise up, to live a life that makes people say, wow, how did they do that? So let's keep this journey going. You've shaken off fear in Chapter 1, and now you're building confidence that stands tall. This is your foundation, and it's strong. Turn the page, because we're just getting started. Your growth is calling, and I'm right here with you, cheering you on. Let's do this. Chapter 3. Setting goals that pull you out of bed. Let's talk about something that can change your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Goals. Yes, goals. Not just those vague wishes you think about when you're drifting off to sleep, but real, solid, exciting goals that make you jump out of bed ready to take on the day. If you don't have goals pulling you forward, you'll stay stuck in average, drifting through life like a leaf in the wind. But when you set the right goals, they become like a magnet, drawing you toward the bigger, bolder you that's waiting to shine. I'll let you in on a little piece of my story. Back when I was younger, I didn't know much about setting goals. I had dreams, sure, but they were fuzzy, like looking through a dirty window. I'd say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to do something big, but I had no clue what that looked like or how to get there. One day, I sat with a man who'd built a business from nothing. He asked me, "Fella, what do you want out of life? Be specific." I mumbled something vague, and he shook his head. He said, "If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there?" That stuck with me. I realized goals aren't just nice ideas. They're the map to your greatness. So what's the big deal about goals? They give you direction. They turn your one day into today. They take that fire inside you and point it somewhere real. Without them, you're just busy, not growing. And I don't want that for you. I want you to wake up every morning with a purpose that lights you up, something that says, this is why I'm here. Let me tell you about Pepe. Pepe was a driver, working long hours, making just enough to get by. He wasn't unhappy, but he wasn't alive either. One evening, we got talking, and I asked him, "Pepe, what do you really want?" He thought for a minute and said, "I've always wanted to own a fleet of cars, not just drive one." I said, "Great. Let's make that a goal." He laughed, thinking it was impossible, but I pushed him. We wrote it down, own 5 cars in 5 years. We broke it into steps, saved a little, planned a little. Today, Pepe's got 7 cars, a small transport business, and a smile that won't quit. That's the power of a goal. It took him from average to amazing. Now, how do you set goals that work? Not just any goals, but ones that pull you forward like a tractor? It's simpler than you think, and I'm going to walk you through it, step by step, so you can start today. First, dream big, but make it clear. Don't just say, "I want to be rich." Say, "I want to earn 1 million naira a month by selling my skills." Don't just say, "I want to be fit." Say, "I want to run 5 kilometers without stopping by December." Specific goals paint a picture you can see, touch, feel. They're not clouds in the sky. They're bricks you can build with. Second, write them down. I mean it. Grab a pen, a notebook, your phone, anything, and put your goals where you can see them. Something happens when you write. It's like telling the universe, "I'm serious about this." I've got a little book where I keep my goals, and every time I tick one off, it's like a party in my heart. Writing makes them real. Third, break them into bites. Big goals can feel scary, like climbing a mountain in one leap. So chop them up. If you want to start a business, your first bite might be research what people need. Then save 10,000 naira. Then test one product. Small bites turn a giant dream into something you can chew today. Bola didn't buy 7 cars overnight. He started with one, then another. Bites, not banquets. Fourth, give them a deadline. A goal without a date is just a wish. Say, by June next year, I'll do this. Deadlines push you. They say, no more excuses. Let's move. When I wanted to speak to bigger crowds, I set a goal. By the end of 2010, I'll talk to 500 people at once. I hit it, and it felt like flying. Deadlines are your friend, not your enemy. Here's the thing, though. Goals aren't set and forget. You've got to check in. Life will throw curveballs, and that's okay. Adjust, but don't abandon. I had a goal once to launch a project, but money got tight. Did I quit? No. I shifted the date, found a new way, and kept going. Goals are alive, like a plant. Water them, prune them, watch them grow. So what about you? Take a second and think. What's one thing you've always wanted to do? Something that makes your heart beat faster? Write it down right now. Make it clear, Give it a date. Break it into steps. Maybe it's learning a skill, starting a side hustle, fixing your health. Whatever it is, that's your seed. Plan it today. Goals are your ticket out of average. They're the spark that turns "I wish" into "I will." You've shaken off fear, built confidence, and now you're setting goals that pull you out of bed. This is your journey, and it's getting exciting. You're not drifting anymore. You're driving. So keep that pen handy, keep that fire burning, and turn the page. We've got more secrets to unpack, and your greatness is just getting started. Let's go. Chapter 4. Taking action that turns dreams into reality. Let's get straight to it. Action. That's the secret sauce that turns all your big dreams, your bold confidence, and your clear goals into something you can touch, see, and live. You can dream all day, play until the cows come home, but if you don't move, you're still sitting in average. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the difference between talking about greatness and living it. And today, we're going to unlock how to take action that works. I've learned this the hard way. Years ago, I had a vision to inspire people, to speak words that lift them up. I'd sit in my room, scribbling ideas, imagining crowds cheering. But guess what? Nothing happened until I stood up and did something. One day, I got tired of dreaming and called a friend. I said, "I'm hosting a small talk next month. Can you invite 10 people?" He did. I sweated through that first event, voice shaking, palms wet, but I spoke. 20 people showed up, and it was messy, but it was real. That one step started everything. Action turned my what if into what is. That's the truth I want you to grab hold of. Action doesn't wait for perfect. It doesn't need you to feel ready. It just needs you to start. Too many of us stay stuck because we're waiting for the stars to align, for all the money to show up, for someone to say, "Go." But greatness doesn't wait for permission. It waits for you to move. Let me tell you about Chitty, a guy I know who's proof of this. Chitty wanted to open a barber shop. He'd talk about it nonstop, how he'd make it the coolest spot in town. But months passed, and he was still just talking. One day, I sat him down and said, "Chitty, what's stopping you?" He listed excuses. No cash, no space, no time. I said, "Forget all that. What's one thing you can do today?" He thought about it and said, "I could cut my brother's hair and post it online." He did. People liked it, asked for cuts, and soon he was barbering from his backyard. Today, Chitty's got a shop, a signboard, and a line of customers. One small action cracked the door open. So how do you take action that works? How do you move from thinking to doing? It's not as hard as it looks, and I'm going to break it down for you. Real and simple. First, start small. You don't need to leap from zero to hero in one day. Big wins come from little steps. Want to write a book? Write one page. Want to get fit? Walk around the block. Want to start a business? Sell one thing. Small actions stack up, like bricks in a wall. I didn't start speaking to thousands. I started with 20. Small is powerful. Second, do it now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel like it. Procrastination is the enemy of action. It's that voice saying, later is better. But later never comes. When I decided to grow my speaking, I didn't wait for a big stage. I booked a date, told people, and prepared. Action loves now. So whatever you've been putting off, pick one piece of it and do it today. Even if it's 5 minutes, move. Third, keep going. Action isn't a one-time thing. It's a habit. You'll mess up sometimes, and that's fine. The trick is to get back at it. Chitty didn't stop at one haircut. He kept cutting, posting, improving. I didn't stop at one talk. I kept speaking, learning, growing. Consistency turns action into results. So don't just start. Stay with it. Fourth, celebrate the wins. Every step you take deserves a cheer. Finished a task? Pat yourself on the back. Hit a milestone. Dance a little. When I held that first talk, I bought myself a cold drink and grinned all night. Celebrating keeps you fired up. It says, "I'm doing this." And that energy pushes you to the next step. Now let's be real. Taking action isn't always easy. Life will throw obstacles. You'll feel tired, scared, unsure. I've had days when I wanted to hide under the blanket instead of show up. But here's what I've learned. Action beats fear every time. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The more you move, the less power doubt has. You don't have to feel strong to act strong. You just have to act. So what's your move? Think about that goal you set in the last chapter. What's one action you can take today to bring it closer? Write it down. Maybe it's making a call, buying a tool, asking a question. Doesn't matter how small it seems. Do it. Because every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. It's you saying, I'm not staying average. I'm building something bigger. This is where the rubber meets the road. You've shaken off fear, built confidence, set goals, and now you're taking action. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're doing. And that, my people, is how greatness happens. One step, one day, one win at a time. So keep moving. Your reality is shifting, and it's beautiful to see. Turn the page, because we're not stopping here. More secrets await, and your growth is on fire. Let's go. Chapter 5. Laughing at failure until it becomes your teacher. Let's talk about something we all face, but nobody likes to admit. Failure. That word alone can make your stomach twist, your palms sweat, and your mind scream, run. But here's the truth I've come to love. Failure isn't the end. It's not a brick wall. It's a teacher, and if you learn to laugh at it, it'll stop scaring you and start guiding you. To break out of average, you've got to make peace with falling, because every great person you admire has tripped before they soared. I'll take you back to a moment in my own life. I once organized an event, poured my heart into it, spent every kobo I had. I dreamed of hundreds showing up, clapping, buzzing with excitement. The day came, and guess what? 15 people trickled in. 15. I stood there, mic in hand, feeling like the ground should swallow me. My friends tried to cheer me up, saying, it's not that bad. But inside, I felt like a failure. I went home, locked the door, and sulked. But then, something shifted. I started laughing. Not because it was funny, but because I realized I'd survived. The world didn't end. I asked myself, what went wrong? What can I do better? That flop became my first lesson in planning smarter, and the next event? Packed to the brim. That's what failure does when you let it. It teaches you. It toughens you. It shows you what works and what doesn't. But if you run from it, cry over it, or let it define you, you'll stay stuck in average forever. Greatness isn't about never failing. It's about failing forward, laughing as you go, and picking up wisdom along the way. Let me tell you about Ngozi, a woman who turned failure into fuel. Ngozi wanted to sell homemade soups, those rich, spicy ones that make your mouth water. She cooked a big batch, told everyone, set up a small stall. Day 1, nobody bought. Day 2, same thing. By day 3, she was ready to quit, thinking, I'm no good at this. I ran into her, looking defeated, and asked, what happened? She said, people don't like my soup. I tasted it, delicious. I said, Ngozi, it's not the soup. Where's your stall? She'd picked a quiet corner nobody passed. We moved it to a busy spot, added a sign, and by the next week, she was selling out. Failure didn't mean she couldn't cook. It meant she needed a better plan. Today, Ngozi's got a catering gig that feeds hundreds. Failure taught her what success never could. So how do you turn failure from a monster into a mentor? How do you laugh at it until it works for you? Let's break it down, simple and real. First, don't take it personal. Failure isn't you. It's just something that happened. My empty event wasn't proof I'm a loser. It was proof I needed more promotion. Ngozi's slow sales weren't her worth. They were her location. Separate who you are from what went wrong. You're still gold, even when things flop. Second, ask the right questions. Instead of, why me? Ask, what now? Dig in. What didn't work? What can I tweak? When my event tanked, I asked, did I tell enough people? Was the time off? Answers came, and I grew. Failure loves a curious mind. It spills its secrets when you stop sulking and start searching. Third, laugh at it. I mean it. Find the humor. When you fall, picture yourself in a comedy skit, getting up with a grin. I laughed at my 15-person crowd because it was ridiculous to think I'd nail it first try. Ngozi chuckled when she realized she'd hidden her soup from the world. Laughter strips failure of its sting. It says, you don't own me. Fourth, try again. Failure isn't the end unless you stop. Every flop is a rehearsal for your big win. I didn't quit speaking after that event. I planned better, showed up again. Ngozi didn't trash her pots. She moved her stall. Action after failure is how you turn lessons into victories. Now, let's get real. Failure hurts. It stings. I've had nights when I questioned everything, wondered if I was fooling myself. You'll have those too. But here's what I know. Every sting fades, and every fall leaves you wiser. You don't grow by staying safe. You grow by stepping out, tripping, laughing, and standing up stronger. So what about you? Think of a time you failed. Maybe a job didn't work out, a plan crashed, a dream fizzled. Write it down. What did it teach you? What's one thing you'd do different next time? That's your gold nugget. Hold it tight, because it's pushing you past average. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your coach, cheering you on in disguise. This is your journey now. You've shaken off fear, built confidence, set goals, taken action, and now you're laughing at failure. You're not fragile. You're tough, bendable, unbreakable. Every stumble is making you better, and that's beautiful. Turn the page, because we're not done. Your growth is picking up speed, and the best is still ahead. Let's keep going. Chapter 6. Staying fired up when the world tries to cool you down. You've come a long way already. Fear's behind you. Confidence is growing. Goals are set. Action's in motion. And failure's just a teacher now. But there's something you need to keep this whole thing alive. Fire. That burning drive inside that says, I'm not stopping, no matter what. Life will try to pour water on it. Trust me. Tough days, naysayers, tiredness, they'll all show up. This chapter is about keeping that flame blazing bright, because staying fired up is how you turn your journey into a victory. I've had my own battles with this. There was a time I was pushing hard, chasing a dream to lift people up with my words. Everything was clicking, until it wasn't. Bills piled up, some friends faded, and I started feeling like maybe I should slow down. I dragged myself out of bed, wondering if it was worth it. Then one morning, I caught myself. I stood in front of my mirror and said, Fella, you've got a fire in you, and nobody's putting it out. I turned on some music, danced like a madman, and remembered why I started. That spark came back, and I kept going. That's what I want for you, a fire that won't quit. See, staying fired up isn't about luck. It's not something you hope shows up when you need it. It's a choice, a habit you build. Average people wait for the mood to strike. Extraordinary people stoke the flames themselves. And you? You're extraordinary. You've just got to know how to keep that heat alive when the world tries to cool you down. Take my friend Kimmy, for example. Kimmy wanted to open a little shop selling handmade jewelry. She started strong, crafting beads late into the night, selling to neighbors. But then life hit. A supplier flaked, sales slowed, and her kids got sick. She could have packed it up, gone back to average, but Kimmy had fire. She'd wake up early, pray, play her favorite gospel tunes, and tell herself, this dream is mine. She found a new supplier, pushed her stuff online, and kept at it. Today, Kimmy's jewelry is in stores across town. She stayed fired up, and it carried her through. So how do you do it? How do you keep that energy pumping when everything says, sit down? I've got some simple, real ways to make it happen, and you can start today. First, hold tight to your why. Your reason is your fuel. Why are you chasing this? To change your life? To help someone? To feel alive? When I felt low, I'd think of the faces I wanted to inspire, the difference I could make. That pulled me through. Dig deep. Find your why. Write it down. Keep it close. It's your anchor when the wind blows. Second, celebrate every step. Wins keep you going, no matter how small. Made a call? Cheer. Hit a target? Smile big. I used to jot down little victories, like talk to 10 people today, and it felt good. It's proof you're moving. Start doing that. Stack those wins and watch your fire grow. Third, shake yourself awake. When you're down, move your body, change your mood. Stand up, stretch, blast some music. I've danced a P-square in my living room when I felt flat, and it flipped me right around. Your body's a tool. Use it. Try it now. Get up, shake it out, feel the lift. Fourth, hang with people who spark you. The ones around you matter. If they're always grumbling or settling, they'll dim your light. Find the dreamers, the doers, the encouragers. Kimmy had a sister who'd say, you're doing great, keep it up. I've got friends who push me when I'm slow. Seek those voices. They'll fan your flames. Truth is, some days will test you. You'll wake up heavy, or life will slap you hard. I've had mornings when I didn't want to face the world. But here's what I've learned. You don't need to feel on top every day. You just need to move, even a little. One step, one push, and the fire catches again. Action feeds it, even when you're low. So what's your next move? Think about where your fire's flickering. A dream? A plan? Your hustle? Pick one spot you want to keep burning. Write your why. Note one win you've had there. And take one step today to heat it up. Maybe it's a call, a try, a prayer. Do it. That's you saying, this fire's mine, and I'm keeping it alive. You're rolling now. Fear's gone. Confidence is solid. Goals are clear. Action's flowing. Failure's a friend. And here you're staying fired up. This isn't average anymore. This is you, building something real. Every day you keep that flame, you're closer to greatness. So stoke it, guard it, and turn the page. We've got more to unpack, and your growth is unstoppable. Let's go. Chapter 7. Finding purpose that lights your path. Purpose is the piece that ties everything together. Fear's out the door, confidence is rising, goals are pulling you forward, actions turning dreams real, failure's a teacher, and your fire's burning strong. But without purpose, that deep, soul-level reason you're here, it's just running fast with no finish line. With it, every day feels like a gift, and average becomes a stranger. This chapter is about finding that purpose, your own personal light to guide you. I didn't always know my purpose. Back in the day, I was hustling through life, chasing jobs, making money, keeping busy. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't enough. I'd lie awake some nights, feeling like something was missing, like I was meant for more but couldn't name it. One day, I sat with an old teacher who'd watched me grow. He said, "Fella, what makes your heart sing? What would you do even if nobody paid you?" I thought about it hard. I loved lifting people up, seeing their eyes light up with hope. That was it. My purpose was to inspire, to help others rise. Once I grabbed that, everything clicked. I want that click for you too. Purpose isn't some big, mysterious thing floating out there. It's already in you, waiting to be uncovered. It's that quiet voice saying, "This is why I'm here." It's what pulls you past tough days and makes good days even sweeter. When you find it, you don't just live, you thrive. And breaking out of average? That's impossible without it. Let me tell you about Tolu, a woman who found hers. Tolu was a bank teller, good at her job, but bored out of her mind. She'd count cash, smile at customers, go home, repeat. One day, we were chatting at a wedding, and I asked, "Tolu, what do you love?" She shrugged, then said, "I like teaching kids. My nieces always laugh and learn with me." I said, "That's gold. Why not do something with it?" She started small, tutoring on weekends. The joy hit her like a wave. She quit the bank, opened a little school, and now she's shaping lives. Tolu's purpose was teaching, and once she found it, her whole world shifted. So how do you find yours? How do you dig out that light that's been waiting? It's not hard, and I'm going to walk you through it, step by simple step. First, look at what you love. What gets you excited, even a little? Maybe it's helping people, creating things, solving problems. I love talking, connecting, lifting spirits. Tolu loved teaching. Think back to moments you felt alive, not just busy. Write them down. Those are clues. Second, check what you're good at. Your purpose often hides in your gifts. What comes easy to you that others struggle with? People told me I had a knack for words, for making them feel seen. Tolu had a way with kids. Your strength isn't random, it's a sign. List what you do well, even if it feels small. Third, ask what matters. What do you care about deep down? A better world? Your family? Justice? My heart beat for people rising above limits. Tolu cared about kids growing smart and strong. Your purpose ties to what moves you. Think on it. Jot it down. Fourth, test it out. Purpose shows up when you move. Try something tied to what you love, what you're good at, what matters. I started speaking to small groups. Tolu tutored. See what feels right. If it lights you up, you're close. If it doesn't, tweak it. Action reveals the truth. Now, here's the real talk. Finding purpose takes time. It's not a light switch flipping on overnight. I stumbled through jobs before I landed on mine. Tolu didn't see hers until she tried. Be patient, but don't sit still. Keep digging, keep moving. And don't worry if it's not perfect at first. Purpose grows clearer as you go. What if you're stuck? Maybe you're thinking, "I don't know what I love or what I'm good at." That's okay. Start with what you don't want. Hate feeling trapped? Your purpose might be freedom. Tired of seeing people hurt? Maybe it's healing. I once felt lost, but I knew I didn't want a life with no meaning. That pushed me to search. Start where you are. So your move today? Sit with yourself. Write 3 things. One thing you enjoy, one thing you're good at, one thing you care about. Then pick one tiny way to test it. Help someone, make something, try a hobby. See how it feels. That's you, peeling back the layers, finding your light. This is big. Purpose isn't just a word, it's your compass. Fear's handled, confidence is locked, goals are driving, actions flowing, failures tamed, fires burning, and now purpose is lighting the way. You're not wandering anymore, you're walking with meaning. Every step is building a life that's yours, not average. So keep searching, keep shining, and turn the page. We're almost there, and your growth is glowing. Chapter 8. Creating Lasting Change That Sticks. Change is the heartbeat of everything we've been building. Fear's gone, confidence is solid, goals are driving you, actions flowing, failure's a friend, fire's burning, and purpose is lighting your way. But here's the real test, making it last. Not just a quick sprint out of average, but a steady, unshakable climb into a life that's big, bold, and yours. This chapter is about creating change that sticks, so you don't just taste greatness, you live it every day. I've seen this play out in my own story. There was a time I'd get fired up, chase a goal, make moves, then slip back. I'd speak to a group, feel on top, then weeks later, I'd be coasting again, stuck in old habits. It frustrated me. Why couldn't I keep it going? Then I realized something. Change isn't a one-time switch. It's a lifestyle. I started small, tweaking little things, like waking up early, planning my day, saying no to distractions. Bit by bit, those shifts stuck, and now they're who I am. That's what I want for you. Change that becomes your new normal. Lasting change isn't magic. It's not about willpower alone or some big, dramatic moment. It's about building a foundation so strong that going back to average feels wrong. It's you, growing into the person you've always known you could be, and staying there. Because what's the point of climbing if you keep sliding down? Let me tell you about Musa, a guy who nailed this. Musa was a mechanic, good with his hands, but trapped in a cycle. He'd save money, dream of his own garage, then spend it all on small pleasures, back to square one. One day, we sat over some tea, and he said, "I'm tired of starting over." I asked, "What's one thing you can change for good?" He said, "I'll stop wasting cash." He started putting a little aside every week, no excuses. Then he learned more skills, fixed more cars, grew his savings. Today, Musa's got his garage, and that old cycle? Broken for good. He made change stick. So how do you do it? How do you lock in this growth so it's not just a phase? I've got some real, simple ways to make it happen, and they'll work for you too. First, start with your habits. Big change comes from small routines. Pick one thing to do every day that pushes you forward. Musa saved a bit daily. I started reading 10 pages a night to grow my mind. What's yours? A walk? A prayer? A note to yourself? Make it tiny, but make it daily. Habits are the roots of lasting change. Second, know your triggers. What pulls you back to average? For me, it was too much idle time, wasting hours on nothing. For Musa, it was impulse spending. Spot those traps, write them down, and plan around them. If late nights kill your mornings, sleep early. If friends drag you off track, set boundaries. You're the boss of your change, so guard it. Third, measure it. You can't fix what you don't track. I kept a little book, noting my wins and slips. Musa counted his savings weekly. Check your progress, see what's working, tweak what's not. It's like a map, showing you how far you've come and where you're going. Start tracking one thing today, keep it simple. Fourth, lean on your people. Change sticks better with support. Tell someone you trust, "I'm doing this, hold me to it." I had a friend who'd call, "Fella, you still on track?" Musa's wife cheered his savings. Find your crew, the ones who will lift you, not judge you. They're your glue when things get shaky. Now, let's be honest. You'll stumble. I've had days I fell back, skipped routines, lost focus. Musa had weeks he almost spent his stash. That's life. But here's the secret. Lasting change isn't about never slipping. It's about getting up fast. One bad day doesn't erase your growth. Dust off, learn, keep going. You're stronger than a stumble. So what's your play? Think about one change you want to lock in. Better health? A dream project? Stronger faith? Write it down. Pick one habit to start, spot one trigger to dodge, track it weekly, tell someone. That's your seed for a new you. Plant it today, water it, watch it grow. This is your moment. Everything we've built, feared a purpose, it's all leading here. Change that sticks isn't a wish, it's a choice. You're not flirting with greatness anymore, you're marrying it. Every day you hold this, you're rewriting who you are. Average is gone, and what's rising is you, solid, real, unstoppable. Turn the page, because we're wrapping this up, and your life is shining. Conclusion: living big, bold, and beyond average. This is it. The end of one road and the start of something massive. You've walked through these pages with me, and look at what we've built. Fear's a shadow you've kicked away, confidence stands tall in your chest, goals pull you out of bed, action turns your dreams real, failure's a laughing teacher, fire burns steady, purpose lights your way, and change sticks like glue. Average? That's not your story anymore. This is you, stepping into a life that's big, bold, and yours. I'm proud of you, and you should be too. I think back to where we started. That question I asked you. Why stay average when greatness is calling your name? You didn't just read it, you answered it. Every chapter, every step, you've been saying, I'm done settling. I'm ready for more. And that's the heartbeat of this book. It's not about me talking at you. It's about you rising up. I've shared my stories, my secrets, because I believe you've got your own greatness waiting to burst out. This isn't the end, it's your beginning. Let's rewind a bit. I told you about my own stumbles, those days I thought average was fine, until I saw the feast waiting beyond the crumbs. I told you about Tund, who went from a safe job to a thriving business. Amaka, who turned sketches into a fashion empire. Shade, who baked her way to confidence. Bola, who built a transport dream from one car. Chitty, who cut hair into a barbershop. Ngozi, who cooked failure into success. Emeka, who kept his fitness fire alive. Kimmy, who strung beads into a shop. Talu, who found purpose teaching kids. Musa, who locked and changed with a garage. These aren't fairy tales. They're real people, like you, who said, why not me? Now it's your turn. You've got the tools now. Shaking off fear means you don't hide anymore. You show up. Building confidence means you trust you're enough, right here, right now. Setting goals means you've got a map, not just a wish. Taking action means you're moving, not dreaming. Laughing at failure means you're tougher than any fall. Staying fired up means your energy's yours to command. Finding purpose means you're living for something bigger. Creating change means it's not a phase, it's who you are. These aren't just words, they're your power. So where do you go from here? Back to average? No way. That door is closed. You're stepping into a life that's louder, brighter, fuller. I see you starting that business, mending that family, chasing that passion, lifting that community. I see you waking up with a grin, knowing today's yours to shape. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, being you, being extraordinary. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 5 years from now. You're sitting somewhere, maybe with a cup of tea, looking back. You see the person who picked up this book, unsure, maybe scared, but hungry for more. Then you see the steps, the wins, the stumbles you turned into strength. You see a life you built, not borrowed, a life that says, I did this. That's not a dream, that's your future, and it starts today. Here's your final move, simple and straight. Grab a pen, right now. Write down one thing you'll do tomorrow to keep this going. One action, tied to your purpose, fueled by your fire. Maybe it's a call, a plan, a step. Then do it. That's you, sealing this change, making it yours forever. And when you're done, look in the mirror and say, I'm not average. I'm made for greatness. Say it loud, mean it, live it. I'll leave you with this. Life's too short to play small. You're not here to blend in, you're here to stand out. I've walked this road, I've seen it work, and I know you've got what it takes. Those doubts whispering, can I really do this? Tell them, watch me. Because you can, and you will. This book isn't the end of our journey, it's the start of yours. I'm cheering you on, every step, every win. So go out there. Live big, live bold, live beyond average. You've got the secrets, you've got the heart, you've got the power. The world's waiting to see what you'll do, and I can't wait to hear your story. This is your time, your life, your greatness. Take it, run with it, and shine with it.